We went to the surgery prep area, and I remember them hauling him away and him just yelling at me, "Daddy, don't let him take me. Daddy, don't let him take me." And I went back to the pre-op room where we had left some stuff, and I was finally alone, shut the door, and I just broke down and I was mad at God. I just frustrated, fed up. And I remember telling him, I said, "God, after all I've done for you, and now you're going to take my kid? This is how you treat your pastors?"
And I was calling our prayer chain. I was calling anybody that would be on the other line to get Colton on the prayer chain because it was bad.
We were there in the waiting room for an hour and a half, maybe. Then I remember the nurse coming out. "Is Colton's daddy out here?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, Colton's in recovery and he's screaming for you." And I'm sitting there with him. And I remember my son in that room then looking up at me and goes, "Dad, do you know I almost died?" And my first thought was, maybe overheard the nurse say that, or maybe they thought he was under anesthesia, you know, and he wasn't. But it wasn't till 4 months after we got out of the hospital that we finally listened to our son.
And that's where I got to see heaven. No, Jesus and some angels came and flew me up to heaven.
And I said, "So, Colton, what did Jesus look like?"
I knew that the first person I saw was Jesus. He was wearing white robes with a purple sash, and he just came down nicely and gracefully.
"Well, Dad, Jesus has markers. Dad, Jesus has markers." I didn't know what he meant. So I finally asked the right question. "Colton, where are Jesus' markers?" And he drops his toys down and he stands up and he just points, "Dad, they were right here." He takes his fingers, points to the palms, then he bends over and touches the tops of his feet and looks up to me. "That's where Jesus' markers were, Dad."
When I was in the throne room of God to start with, so I got to see what that looked like. I was upset because I didn't know what was happening. What God did is he used people or things that I liked to calm me down. From there on, I felt better.
And one day we're traveling together and he looks up at me and, "Dad, you used to have a grandpa named Pop, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's really nice." "Really?" "Yeah, you used to play with him as a kid and work with him on the farm and shoot stuff with him." And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know that?" "Well, he told me."
A figure came up and he was Pop. He asked me, "Are you Todd's son?" I said yes. He said that he was his grandpa, so that's where I met him.
Yeah, Pop